Cletus McFarland is back on the map once again, signing a record-breaking, I don't know if it's record-breaking, but it's a pretty big deal in my opinion, a 2-year contract with RCR. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. And Tyler Reddick makes history winning the first 3 races in a row. Yeah, we had 3-peat last year with Christopher Bell. Nobody talks about it as much, I guess, because winning the first 3, I guess, is a bit cooler. I think last year was a bit more impressive, but that's besides the point. We'll talk about Tyler Reddick, and we'll talk about Phoenix. Who's poised to get it done? Is 4 in a row in favor for Tyler Reddick? No way, right? Let's have ourselves a show, and let's get up after it. Boys and girls, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. We're only to 1,000 subs, so if you could help us get there, that would be greatly appreciated. First things first, Tyler Reddick doing what it felt like could happen. Headed into the weekend, we didn't have a show previewing COTA, unfortunately, but I was looking, reading, doing some research about it. Tyler Reddick had some history of running hot and heavy at COTA. Qualifying comes out, he's sitting on the pole. I say you can go ahead, kiss that thing goodbye. He's going to lock it in unless something crazy happens. Then, of course, our boy SVG, that hasn't really bode well at COTA over the last couple of years, even though we know road courses favor New Zealand, right? Or New Zealander. COTA has not been his best friend. Has himself a very good race, but just not enough to take down Tyler Reddick. Ryan Blaney, who ran up front all weekend long, trickle back to the back, getting himself a nice top 10 finish, keeping him healthfully in the points for this season, which we will get into. The points are very interesting right now. A lot of guys that made a playoff last year down, far down in the list. Things like Austin Cindric. Christopher Bell is one to keep an eye on. Mind you, I told you he went 3 in a row last year. He started off hot and had a nice kind of just quiet season, but last year, winning you're in, nobody really worried about what Christopher Bell was doing for the rest of the year. Well, right now, he hasn't bode well for the first couple of weeks. Not too many JGR cars have. Ty Gibbs had himself a nice little finish last week. Kind of moved up and down the pack, but I think he finished with a top 5, if I'm not mistaken. So good for him. Nice little finish. The probably the driest human on the face of the earth. It's very interesting. Ty Gibbs, I was a fan. I liked him in now the O'Reilly series a lot. He was very aggressive, very good in the Busch series. Very chirpy, which I was a fan of, but now he's just like a miserable prick all the time. And maybe he's always been like that, and I just overlooked at it. But it's like, buddy, you're 21 years old, where a ride was handed to you. Let's pipe down a little bit. All right, let's settle in. Let's not be such an egotistical prick all the time. Okay, there's just some words of advice for you, big guy. Like, I love it. Get after it. Do what you need to do, but you ain't winning. I know you're pissed. I know you're upset that you lost. I get it, but let's just a touch. No? Am I crazy? Maybe not. Anywho, Tyler Reddick, 4-peat. We'll get into Phoenix here in just a moment. But the big news that really shook NASCAR Nation today was, of course, Mr. Cletus McFarland signing a 2-year, 3-race deal per year with RCR. Richard Childress, I guess, needs some juice. So they've got juice in the O'Reilly series, but continue to let Austin Dillon just around the racetrack. Whatever. Anyways. Cletus, this thing, I saw this, and I immediately got excited because you guys have seen me cover Cletus. I love this. I like Cletus McFarland, but I'm not an idiot. I know this isn't necessarily the greatest thing or even the best idea for multiple reasons. One, you're putting the trueness of what is the series, right? You have to earn your way to race the truck, to race in the O'Reilly, to race in the Cup Series. And unless you just show pure dominance like a Corey Heim, right, you go through these processes and allow for it to unfold. Well, we saw him riding the ARCA last year, and we loved it. It was a nice little dose, a nice introduction, great interview. Nobody really batted an eye yet. Frankie Muniz doing it. We're like, cool, we love it. Let's get after it. Tune in for a couple of minutes, and then we'll roll out of it. Then this year, throw him in a truck. I loved it. Big fan. Daytona, Travis Pastrana. We've seen this kind of become more of a thing over the last couple of years. People were somewhat fans of it. I was all in, all right? Going into that weekend, the truck series had a lot of buzz, a lot of hype with bringing back Tony Stewart, bringing in the Dodge. I was like, this is just throw it all in there. Get everybody just fired the hell up. And it was great for ratings. Everybody tuned in. 4 laps in, we're spinning it into the wall. Done. Night's over for Cletus McFarland. Damn, that was what everybody told us was going to happen, and it happened. And hasn't really showed that much. Had a good race of the ARCA the following day, but hasn't really given you any reason to be in an O'Reilly Series race car. for multiple races, not just kind of a one-off. One-off would be great, but multiple races now. And the big factor for me is, look, are you taking a spot of a legitimate driver? Yes. The other part of it also, though, is the risk, the safety factor. Because it's going to be at Richmond, Daytona again, and I believe at Talladega. Which again, we see if you're taking on an entire field. He almost did it during the trucks as he overcorrected and could have took out half those cars. I think he was starting at the top 10 during that time, and would have been tough. Put a lot of people into danger because of your lack of experience on these racetracks. And I think that it's not thinking. It is a legitimate concern for everybody that is involved with it. And I think that's going to be a massive concern. Now, those are things that you can overcome very quickly. Have a successful race at Richmond, and that buzz will start to die down. Why I do like it, I am a big fan of it because I do think it's great for NASCAR. I think it's going to bring a ton of eyeballs to the O'Reilly series. And obviously these guys, especially Richard Childress, they're trying to sell sponsorships and get eyeballs on their guys, and people are going to watch. People are going to buy Cletus McFarland merch. He sells merch. You like Cletus, you love Cletus McFarland, you're going to be all about it. And now for 3 races, you have even a bigger reason to go and buy merch and support him. So sponsorships are easy to sell because they know that everyone's going to be talking about him all week long, wanting to see his rap. That is a factor, and he brings a massive piece to that to NASCAR. Again, am I saying that is the worth? Is that worth the safety and health of others? And is it worth jumping the process? Right? Is not. And look, we want to blame Cletus. You want to blame the person at fault here is NASCAR. Are they going to step in and put a true barrier of like, hey, we got to have some things that get passed before we just go ahead and hand this young man a ride, right? If you're RCR, whether it's a marketing stint or however you want to look at it, they're taking advantage of who Cletus McFarland is. If I'm Cletus McFarland, if you and I are Cletus McFarland, we are saying yes. Somebody saw what you have done. They like your following. They think that you have an opportunity and the ability with the right tools, the right training, the right help. Hey, this guy could become something. We want to work with you. We like what we've seen thus far, and we want to back you. We like what you do for the sport. You're going to take it. So shout out to RCR for taking a risk, for taking an opportunity, right? And shout out to Cleetus McFarland for saying yes. They're not the bad guys here, as much as we want to try to blame and do all these things. If any of us were in the same situation, we would all say yes. So I'm not mad at them for getting up after it. And anybody who's in the comment section is like, no, I wouldn't. Shut up. Yes, you would. But we'll see if anything comes of it. I don't think that there will. Again, I'm going to be pumped. I'm excited. I'm going to be rooting for Mr. Cleetus McFarland to get it done in a couple weeks' time when they race over at Richmond. And, of course, at Talladega and Daytona again, because we're going fast, baby. So I will be all about it. Now, let's move on to the point system here really quick, because this is where things get a little bit juicy. And then we're going to break down Phoenix, but I do want to talk about this. The points, boys. Our boy Tyler Reddick has lapped the field. You've got Bubba Wallace that is 80 points behind Reddick. The 27th car, I believe, in Chase Briscoe. He's 80 points behind Bubba. Bubba's 80 behind Tyler. And Denny Hamlin said this on his podcast, and I couldn't agree more. And look, you don't want to jinx it. You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but you couldn't have you can't write a better start to a season. And outside of just something catastrophic happen, Tyler Reddick, we will see you in the playoffs, son. And I'm pumped. You know why? Because preseason, when I did my Power 16, I had Tyler Reddick up there. And I said, Tyler Reddick's me one to watch out for. Did I say he was going to win the first 3 in a row? No, but I implied it. Just kidding. But I felt pretty damn good about it. Felt so damn good about it. I went and bought his race car and put it behind me. All right? That's how good I felt about it. So that part I'm excited for. I love it. Big fan of Tyler Reddick. Big fan of 2311 and what they bring to NASCAR. So I've enjoyed it. When my guy Carson, host of our, to get his butt up and going, he's raced well thus far, sitting there in the top 10 position. Another guy that I picked being in the top 16. Love seeing that. SVG, another guy that I had up there. Was really hoping he could get a win at the road course. Second's the best, honestly, was the best case scenario because I got to see history with Tyler Reddick, and I got my guy SVG still working the angle, right? Still getting it done. We'll see how Phoenix is. I'm really excited to watch. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm pumped to see what SVG can do this weekend at Phoenix. Can he make the turn he needs to? I don't need the guy to finish top 5 or win the son of a gun. I need a top 15. Give me a top 15, SVG. And I'm like, okay, all right, here we go. And now you start making some headway. You start making some moves. All right, so we'll see. We'll keep our eyes and ears peeled for that one. Ryan Blaney's winning this weekend. Just put your house on it. Put your house on it. He's been running good all year long. Obviously had a do not finish already, but with 2 top 10s, my man's cruising. Great finish at Coda, and I think he's been fast all year when he's obviously not crashing, but doing some great things. Joey Logano up there just makes me want to just punch a wall. But we'll move on from him. AJ Allmendinger. I believe he's got an average finish of like 13 right now. When he finished last year, was like 23, 27 and a half, I believe is the number. So very good start for Mr. AJ Allmendinger here. Very, very happy for him on that one. Yeah, he 28.3 a year ago was AJ Allmendinger. Just checked my notes. So averaging 13.3 compared to 28.3. So very big jump for him. And hopefully he can maintain that success. Never had anything negative to say about AJ Allmendinger. Had himself a little bit of a scare this past weekend. His cooling suit died on him and had him be stretchered off, but good to go. Let's take a look at this. There's a name up here that you don't see. We mentioned that at the top of the show. We got to slide down a little bit. All right. There's Ty Gibbs, who I think I picked to be my top 16, just sniffing a little bit, but I got to keep scrolling here. Christopher Bell. Sit at 24th. Now, I'm not saying it's time to panic. I'm not saying that we're going to freak out and lose our nipples on this thing. All right? But like I said, wins 3 of the 4 first races last year. He's set. He's chilling. Now, he is your 2-time defending national champion. The 2-time defending champion at Phoenix. Could we see him bounce back, have himself a good weekend, and get out of this slump? Very possible. Very possible. Maybe this is where Bell takes his run these next couple of weekends with Phoenix and Vegas. For these next 2. Maybe this is where we can see. And Kyle Larson's another guy that's kind of get out of his little rut as well that we've seen from him. But these next 3 races, in my opinion, could kind of set the tone a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to obviously just end the thing, but these early trends could start to concrete into truth, right? And then maybe some early trends could fall off. Right, like a Daniel Suarez, could he maintain this success? And AJ Allmendinger, can he maintain this success over the next 3 weeks? Can Carson maintain it over the next 3 weeks? Right, names we typically don't see up this high. SVG, another one, right? And names that we're not seeing a lot of right now. Ross is down there at the bottom. We got Denny at 23rd. Christopher Bell, a lot of big time boys down there at the bottom. Again, it's super early. I'm not freaking out, but I am interested to see how the new changes of the sport will play a factor into it. Probably won't be too crazy, but it is fun, right? Denny Hamlin is 126 points out of first, and he's never won at Phoenix in the last 7 years. So I don't think we expect him to make some big jumps here tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but on Sunday. As for Reddick, is a 4-peat possible? At this point, hell, I don't know. I don't know if they got an extra juice when they left that hearing in December. If they poured a little extra fuel in his cars, I don't know. But he's hauling ass around any track he hit the floor. He hasn't had success the last 2 years, but prior to that, he did have a couple top 10 finishes. So he knows his way around it. I just don't see him getting past. If it's between him, Ryan Blaney, these other guys, I don't think he's going to have that juice to get it done at Phoenix this week. I don't think we see that kind of history. I'm going to call it top 10 though. I'm going to call it top 10 for Tyler Reddick. I just, right now, the iron is hot, boys. That man is just finding his way around the track. And a 4-peat would put his boss into an absolute blender. An absolute blender. So should be a great weekend. I think that it's going to be a great start heading into it to kind of, to really get the season kickstarted. The first 3 weeks are kind of wild, right? You get the 2 draft series or draft races that we all know are kind of a little bit luck. And then, of course, you've got the road course, which throws a little bit of a wrench into things. But still a fantastic start. A lot of momentum still. I think NASCAR is taking full advantage of it. I think some people were complaining about COTA being boring. I really don't get too caught up into the weeds if things, not going the way they are. Racing's racing. Glad that we're back. Glad that we're having this flow. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, smash the like button, subscribe. Hope to see y'all in the next one. We'll be sure to get back more on a little bit of a path, but smash it, like it, do all the good stuff to it. We'll see y'all. Boogity, baby.